What is going on? What's going on? This is Nav here, back at it again with a deck profile of Syn Shenron, the Xeno Syn Shenron. I think my most recent video was of him, but that was before set 15 drop. So I decided to play the deck again, pick up the new cards, and here's my new updated version. I've been able to do so well now in tournaments and even playtesting with my friends. I've been able to deck out people or just go for game, which is adding in a lot of pressure. So let's get with the deck profile real quick. If you guys don't know what this leader does, he's a blocker. He's supposed to just deck out the opponent for game. So whenever he attacks on his flip side, on his unawakened side, you have to pitch a Shadow Dragon card, and then you'll draw a card. But every card in this deck is basically a Shadow Dragon because of their abilities. Even the extra cards, they gain the Shadow Dragon trait. So pitching them will also just help you out. And then he also restands at the end of the turn because he's a blocker. And whenever you activate an extra card, that's a Shadow Dragon extra card, the opponent has to, well, both you and your opponent have to mill a card. And then if you have 4 or less life, or if you just have 7 or more Shadow Dragon cards in your drop area that are black, you get to do a 1/1, untap and draw a card. And then on the awakened side, he basically kind of does the same thing a little bit. Attacks gain 5k, then he restands for the turn. And then now whenever you activate an extra card with the Shadow Dragon trait, the opponent has the mill a card, and then he has a Spirit Boost activate main or battle to where you remove a marker, and you can activate a Shadow Dragon extra card from your hand that has activate main or battle without paying the cost. So like I said, this deck is really good, really fun. Competitively, I'm not really sure. I think if someone can just crack the deck a little bit better than me, they'll be able to do it. But this is a 60 card list, and I will explain some things about the secret rare when we get to it. It's kind of like a player preference, but we'll get started on it. So for your unison, you're going to play 4 Towa Resonance of Shadow. She's basically the heart of the deck, man. You can do her -7 actually a lot quicker. You don't have to do it like on most of the times I'm able to do it on turn 5, and I play a lot of cards to protect her, so to make sure that she's able to just get her markers up really quick. And then whenever my leader activates its blocker, she gains an extra marker too. That's not a once per turn, so you can actually gain multiple markers if your opponent doesn't play it right. And then for the +1, it allows you to draw a card and then recycle up to 3 Shadow Dragon extra cards from your drop area back to the bottom of the deck, and put a card as well from your hand to the bottom of the deck. So you're able to recycle a lot of Shadow Dragon extra cards. For the super combo, this is pretty much the staple. Oceanus, Sparking 5, 10k, draw a card. And then you want to do the auto the limit 1. So whenever you do Spirit Boost, you don't feel like you're losing a marker. You just put her under Towa to gain a marker and draw a card. You're going to play, let's just say technically 4. I only have 3 at the moment. I know it makes no sense, but if I had 4, I'd be playing 4. Oceanus is very crucial to this deck. It just really stops an opponent's turn. Even black decks, if a black player like playing Vajax and they don't have the Sparking 20, they're going to be very careful for this. So a lot of black decks actually stop attacking now. I think they're starting to realize it's a waste of time trying to try to get by, because their first attack is going to get blocked anyways. If you guys don't know what it does, what she does is basically on your opponent's turn, it's a 2-drop. You'll pitch a card to play her, and then for the rest of the turn, they have to mill 4 cards if they want to attack. And then all the Shadow Dragons have this ability: when they're discarded or played from the hand, they reveal the top card of their deck to basically add a Shadow Dragon card. So they replace themselves. I'm not going to say that with every card. I'm just going to say that they all have that, so I don't keep repeating myself. Next, we play 3 Rage Shenron, Power of Darkness. This is a counter, actually for an energy cost of 1 rather than 3. If you have 7 or more Shadow Dragon cards in the drop area, honestly, man, you're actually able to get that by at earliest turn 2. You'll have your 7 if you play your cards right. If you activate like multiple extra cards within the turn, you'll be able to get it. And it does negate the attack, but it gets played in rest mode, so it cannot block on the turn that it does get played. But that's not a problem. You have a lot of other cards to stop things. And then we play 4 Syn Shenron, Power of Darkness. This guy is what you want to start spamming when you awaken. So whenever you activate Spirit Boost, you get to play him for a black energy. And the opponent mills the top card of their deck. And it's a double striker too. So it's going to start adding on some pressure. This hits, this is what I use to get rid of my opponent's unisons. It's pretty cool. Next, we have Nova Shenron, Power of Darkness. It's just a filter out. It's kind of like the yellow Oceanus. Just look, activate main. You're going to burst 1, limit 1. And you just look at the top 5 and add a Shadow Dragon card with an energy cost of 5 or less. So it allows you to search your Oceanus faster. It allows you to look for your negates. It allows you to look for, all the cards you need. And it has critical 20k. This is what we're going to start playing to control the board so the opponent doesn't have a crazy board. You're going to play both Hey Shenron, Power of Darkness, and Negative Energy Explosion. This is what you want to play as early as turn 2. You can do it turn 1 as well if you don't have Towa or an extra card that you want to utilize. Just play the Hey Shenron. The next turn, start playing black. Start putting them in rest mode. Pay a black energy and bring out anything that's a 3 or less. This is what really makes him amazing. He's kind of like the heart of the deck in terms of playing battle cards before Towa. And then what Hey Shenron does is that the negative energy explosion is whenever he attacks, he warps a battle card on the opponent's side of the field, that doesn't have barrier, and there is no cost restriction. This thing gets rid of secret rares. This thing's get rid of just anything that's problematic to you. Most of the times, like against blue, for example, I usually would attack with him first. So like if they baby hatch me, I'll just remove the baby hatch. Or if someone plays the secret pan on me, I'll, warp the pan. So it just allows you to get rid of anything problematic and annoying. Next off, what we're going to do as well, with the Hey Shenron, Power of Darkness, another target other than the previous guys that you saw, by the way, up there, you can play Natron Shenron, Negative Energy Explosion, Deflect Blocker. This is what I like. Whenever I see my opponent blindly uses a Trunks, to try to bounce back any battle cards, I'll just play him. This card removes battle cards as well. So when he gets played from the hand, he gets to steal, absorb a battle card with 5 or less, as long as it doesn't have barrier. And then he gains one of their keyword skills for the turn. So you can choose it. So if there's like a 5-drop or less that has triple strike, he'll have Deflect, Blocker, triple strike for the turn, or dual attack, or barrier, or just anything you want. If you want to be silly, you can do unique. That'd be a really bad idea though. Next, what you want, these are some of my one-offs that I play, is Rage Shenron, Syn Shenron, and Nova Shenron and Negative Energy Explosion. So with the Rage Shenron, what I do is that on my opponent's turn, I will combo with him after I block with my leader, proccing Towa's auto to activate to gain a marker. It will burst 1. It's a 5k combo, and it allows me to restand my leader. So now I'm able to block again and activate Towa's again. This doesn't happen very too much often, but for the inexperienced player who doesn't understand the matchup and doesn't understand how Syn Shenron works, it allows you to just take advantage of this. I think everyone's starting to know what Syn Shenron Negative Energy Explosion does. He's kind of like the boss monster when it came out. Deflect, barrier, double strike, blocker. And for basically a spirit boost of 1, you switch him to active mode and activate main or battle, and you mill a card from the opponent's deck, and then you are able to play a Shadow Dragon extra card from your hand without paying the cost, which is pretty cool. You can just do it on your opponent's turn as well, just to mill. And then you will play 1 Nova Shenron negative energy explosion. So what happens with him is that when he gets played, he plays a Towa from the drop area with a marker on it if you don't have a Towa already. So usually what I do is after I do the -7 from Towa, he's going to be one of my targets. And then he's just going to bring back Towa, and then I can just do it all over again. You know, just like slowly, but usually what I do, by the way, let me go back to this. I'm sorry. When it comes to this Towa, usually what I like to do it on turn 5 or 6. If we go to turn 7 and I'm playing up against blue, for example, I will, if I wasn't able to stop their trunks from doing their counterplay to return everything from the hand, I would do the -7 and I would bring out 7 Shadow Dragons. And then if I have a Towa in hand, I will pay another 7 energy to put 7 markers on the new Towa and then do -7 again to bring out an additional 7 Shadow Dragons. So you're able to, if you play your cards right, you can have up to 14 Shadow Dragon cards on the board. So I just want to let you guys know that. Now for some of the big boys we play Omega Shenron Darkness Exorb and Omega Shenron Ultimate Darkness. So I play just a 3-2 lineup. The reason why I do that is because Omega Shenron is actually a lot more easier to play. And he costs 1 energy less. He does have unique, but a 30k body is really strong, puts a lot of pressure on the opponent's board. And usually the targets that I use for the Omega Shenron will be like my blockers. So like if I block with these guys and they don't get rid of it on my next turn, I'll just send them to the drop area to do his activate main, which you send a 5 or less Shadow Dragon from your drop area, from the battle area to the drop area to play him, and then you warp a battle card. So this is pretty cool. And then Omega Shenron, most of the times I just bring them out with a -7. But if I have the idea that I can actually really go for game, I will do the activate main to play him by removing 7 Shadow Dragon cards and just play him on board. I didn't do that a lot. Most of the times I was just doing it by the -7 of the Towa, but if I say, hey, he's tapped out, it looks like he doesn't have enough combo power to handle this. He's very at low life. I think I'm just gonna do it. So there we have it for the battle cards. Now these are for the extra cards that I play. I play 4 negative energy explosions. Basically, and by the way, all these extra cards, when it comes to their activate main or in battle, they are all limit 1. So basically, I play the negative energy explosion. This allows me to look for Towa. By looking at the top 7 cards on my deck, I can look for a Towa and play it, or I can just add a Shadow Dragon extra card. To be honest with you, in most of my games, even though this is a 60 card deck, it kind of allow me to have about 8 to 9 Towas in a deck because we're including the Nova Shenron. So about almost 1/6 of my deck is the Towa unison. So it's never a problem to get Towa out. The only time I don't bring out Towa, for example, is if like the matchup is like very aggressive and it's like, all right, I don't believe I'm going to be able to do Towa's -7. So negative energy explosion, really great card. Up next, we play 4 Ultimate Whirlwind Spin. So what this card does is basically it's Black's Sensu Bean. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You'll add a Shadow Dragon card, a Black Shadow Dragon card. You shuffle the deck, and then you can pitch a Shadow Dragon card from your hand. So what you want to do is like pitch one of your battle cards, so then you can replace it by revealing the top card of your deck and then adding it, and then it gives your leader 1k for the turn. So then on the opponent's turn, your leader becomes an 11k or a 16k, and then they're gonna have to just start wasting their hands so that 20k isn't enough. So I usually say this on my opponent's turn. Next, what we're going to want to play is the Ultimate minus Energy Powerball. So this card's really amazing. It does a lot of things. If you have a Black Unison on board, which is the Towa, if your opponent attacks, it's a counterattack card as well. You warp one of their battle cards with 15 power or less, ignoring barrier. This card's amazing. And then for the activate main or battle, you choose one of your black leader cards or black battle cards, and it gets 15k power until the end of the battle or the turn, whichever comes first. It's kind of weird the way they worded it, but it's kind of like if you did like a spirit boost for the activate main, and it gains 15k, and then you just, it just stays at that, at that 15k additional boost until like the end of the turn. But I usually do this in battle. Most of the times I do the counter attack play for it. I start doing the activate main battle is like when there's too much pressure on board for me. If I don't, if I need the combo up to 25k, I can just do this to go for 30, or when I'm pushing for game. Next, I play 2 Ultimate Dark Dragon Slaying Bullet. If you guys don't know what this card does, it's a counterplay. If the opponent plays a unison, they can remove 2 markers for every 2 cards in their drop area or warp, or they have to place the unison in the drop area instead of playing it. And if they don't do either of those options, then they could only attack 1 more time. So this card is pretty cool in that term of the counterplay. It's just I don't really rely on the counterplay that often, because most of the times people play their unisons like by turn 2 or turn 3, unless it's blue where they play the Majin Buu unison, the AOD one, turn 4, then this card will be really good to play. But I will be 100% honest with you. Every time I played this card, they never get rid of their unisons, and they never punish their unisons by removing a marker. They're okay with just saying, okay, I can only attack 1 more time, cool. And then from there, you're going to negate an attack anyways. Oh, and it also has the activate main in battle. Your opponent chooses a card, one of their battle cards, or energy costs less than the number of cards in their drop area, send it to the warp. Usually, I really do this early game, to be honest. So, like, if my opponent has Black Mass Sane on the board, I would just, like, activate an extra card, make the mill a card, and then activate him, mill a card again, and then just warp the Black Mass Sane or anything. Usually I like to use this card when my opponent doesn't really have any choice. Like if they only have 1 battle card on board, I would play this. Or if they have a battle card and a card with barrier, they can't choose their cards with barriers, so it allows you to they automatically have to get rid of it. I've had many situations where I've had players bring out their boss monsters, they start going in, they drop everything, they don't have any other cards to choose from, and I just activate this and they get rid of it. This is another one too for board removal, Ultimate Dragon Quake. So basically what he does is that you are able to, this time you choose, you can warp one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost greater than their current energy. So this is like a secret rare killer, or like getting rid of their boss monsters late game, or when they bring it out. And then the battle card gets played at the end of the turn with their skills negated. But here's the thing, if the opponent has 15 or less cards in the deck, it actually goes to the drop area. But here's the thing as well, if you're doing this on the new secret rare cards, they all have a permanent where they get removed from play, so they can't even come back. And also I did this to somebody who's playing Mickey Gabor, the Wish Leader, which was really a hard match for me. He brought out the 8 drop. He went for triple attack. He dumped his whole hand because I had exactly 3 life. And I just played Ultimate Dragon Quake and just got rid of it. And then he proceeded to lose next turn. He was a great player though. Next, what I play is the Ultimate Ice Ray. This one, I know more people play like 3 or even 4 of it. I only play 2 of it because you have so many negates, so many floodgates in this deck. From your Raid Shenron to the Oceanus, to your Ultimate Dragon Quake. You have so many cards to just stop attacks in general that, Ultimate Ice Ray is a great option as well, but I don't really rely on it too much. This is a card that basically says the opponent places the top card of their deck to the drop area, and then you can pitch 2 black cards from your hand, which realistically you want to pitch 2 of the battle cards so that you can replenish 2 cards back in your hand, and then they can only attack with battle cards 1 more time. Usually this is something that I want to do when they attack with a unison or attack with their leaders, so then that they don't get an additional attack. So if they attack with a battle card first and then you ultimate Ice Ray, then they're going to attack with a battle card 1 more time, then unison, then leader. So that was 4 attacks they had off that turn. But if they do it with their leader first or unison first, it's only going to be a total of 3 attacks that turn. And then the last card that I play is Ultimate Flame Shot. This card's really good. It's unique. It's basically like the what's his name? Is it the Secret Identity? It's not the Secret Identity. Identity Reveal, whatever it is, man. That one Bardock, Xeno Bardock, Black Mask Saiyan card. Basically, you're going to burn a life, and then for the and your opponent places the top card of their deck to the drop area, and then your leader doesn't take any damage from the opponent's attacks until the end of the battle or the end of the turn. The end of the turn is not really possible. They just made it like this so that like maybe if you play against like a burn deck, like a red deck, you don't get burned immediately like on your turn. There might be a card, I don't freaking know. You know, maybe with like the Raddest Secret Rare, but I'm just rambling from there. But yeah, this card's really great against final oh my god, victory strikes. Like if they go play an Apex on you and they drop the whole hand, you just play this, burn a life, don't take no damage, and then you can proceed to win the game. When it comes to the Secret Rare, usually what I would do is probably maybe take out like a Nature Shenron or even a Rage Shenron. And the Secret Rare that I currently have right now would be the Heritage, the Lineage to steal battle cards. This is a player's preference choice depending on what you have. If you have the Pan Secret Rare, go ahead and play the Pan Secret Rare. If you have the Supreme Kai of Time, play the Supreme Kai of Time. This is an excellent Secret Rare. If you have the Shenron Xeno Secret Rare, I think that's maybe one of the best ones to play because it flows with the deck. It's searchable. It's able to get added on. Towa can play it, I think, from the -7. So if you have that, then go ahead and play it. That's why I didn't really include in this deck profile, but you know, I was able to do so well, and I hope you guys like it. Sorry for the long video. I was just trying to try something new, but definitely, guys, this deck is really good. It has potential to be fun and everything. You have the potential to wake up at turn 2 if you play 3 extra cards, 3 1-drop extra cards, you know, because you're going to be milling early game as well. So just give it a try, guys. And if you have any comments, advice, suggestions, just let me know, and have a nice night.